Because kidnapping isn't a model assault. The rights of other races must be respected.
Hey, it's Janelle Waz, and Starfleet conferences are a hotbed of kidnappings. Oh sure, you think you're going on a trip to meet up with some of your fellow Starfleet officers, enjoy good food, partake in awkward icebreakers, sit through long, boring talks that you're required to attend?
I want to tell you about my detective story.
Enjoy the resort the conference happens to be held at. And then you wake up part of a Romulan plot against your will. I mean, Starfleet security is already bad enough as it is, and it's even worse than any type of Starfleet gathering. Conferences, seminars, symposiums, heck, even first contacts have a decent chance of a kidnapping of at least one of the main characters happening. 8 o'clock, breakfast. 9:30, opening remarks. 10:15, kidnap the Enterprise's chief engineer. 12 o'clock, lunch. Take poor Geordi here. Poor, intelligent, barely can land a date chief engineer Geordi LaForge. On his way to an artificial intelligence seminar on lovely sunny Risa. Spend the mornings talking about how to make AI write up hilarious Star Trek Seinfeld crossovers, and the afternoons basking in the sun, enjoying all the Risian food, and getting rejected by a whole other group of hot women. I mean, it's everything a man could ever want. Even en route, it's never a dull moment sipping on a fun tropical drink in anticipation of fun in the sun, relaxing to some music, asking Siri for weather updates, and even playing fun word games with Amazon Alexa.
List the residences of the subquantum states associated with transitional relativity.
It's always a fun time with Geordi, ladies!
I get the feeling that something special happened on this vacation, and I'm not talking about computers.
Oh yes, Deanna. Getting kidnapped by the Romulans and forced to ruin Chief O'Brien's uniform. Hashtag O'Brien must suffer.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
No, we can only wish that Miles's uniform was the only thing at stake here. The Romulans stole Geordi's visor, forced him to sit through Sub Rosa.
You're not Man. Man is dead.
And reprogram him to assassinate Chief O'Brien. I mean, a Klingon military leader. Clearly the Romulans were watching the Manchurian Candidate. Or Zoolander.
Doesn't anyone notice this? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills!
Heck, Geordi never even made it to Risa. But I bet his replicant had a wild, crazy time. But don't worry, at least the Romulans planted some wild and crazy Risian memories in Geordi's brain, right?
Her name is Jonik.
Yeah, that should have been the first red flag there, Geordi.
But I remember everything.
Yes, Geordi. I believe that you believe you had a good time. But oh, Deanna, don't you get comfy in your counseling the poor kidnapped chief engineer position, for even you are not safe.
I was at the neuropsychology seminar.
Once again, kidnapped at a seminar. Oh sure, return to your quarters for a good night's rest and wake up as a Romulan like you're in some messed up episode of Quantum Leap to smuggle more Romulans into the Federation. Don't worry though, it's all for Spock. Yeah, that's right, this is all Spock's doing. Heck, you can't even blame the Romulan government on this one. It was Spock's dissident movement made up of Romulans. Also, Starfleet conferences and seminars seem to attract Romulan kidnappers for some reason.
I've been kidnapped, surgically altered, put in danger.
But it's not even just the Romulans that are attracted to undefended, low-security Starfleet conferences.
More security. More security.
The Enterprise goes to a conference on Beta Z, boom! Riker, Deanna, and Waxana kidnapped. By the Ferengi of all people. Heck, not even DS9 Ferengi that were capable of commando missions when necessary. This is next-gen Ferengi we're talking about here.
Paws off, Ferengi.
To be fair, though, the kidnapping happened after the conference and technically on Beta Z during shore leave. But guess where the Ferengi were scoping out for kidnappees? Worf, it says a lot about your security teams if even the Ferengi can slip past them. Heck, everything's recorded and monitored on a starship. Nobody picked up
Loxana Troi, you will be mine.
And only Picard quoting Shakespeare could save them all. Yes, Fear his use of Shakespearean prose.
'Tis better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all.
Oh, the Enterprise is hosting an archaeological symposium, which is really just a fancy word for conference, and Picard's giving the main lecture while having woman problems. Perfect time for Q to whisk everyone off to Sherwood Forest for a little LARPing. And just where was ship's security, Worf? Where was ship's security?
They did not happen on the Enterprise.
Really?
But can it really be called kidnapping if Q's just simply whisking everyone away? Yes! I mean, why not? He's taking everyone away against their will and holding them someplace they don't want to be. It doesn't matter that he happens to be an omnipotent being and they're in Sherwood Forest dressed as Robin Hood and his merry men. Though a good time was had by all.
I protest. I am not a merry man.
Also, the moral of the story is never let Q handle your problems with the ladies. A reception during ship's maintenance where almost everyone will be down on the planet below? Sounds too much like a conference because Die Hard style hostage situation. Picard had to discover what a TV dinner felt like. Yippee-ki-yay.
Come out to the coast, we'll get together, have a few laughs.
But okay, this seems to be limited to the Enterprise, right? Maybe Picard and his crew just happen to attract the kidnappers of the galaxy. Well, you'd be wrong, because not even Ben Sisko and Deep Space Nine are safe from the occasional kidnapping. Poor Dr. Bashir. Poor, intelligent, got a question wrong on a test that prevented him from being a valedictorian and uses it as a pickup line. Successfully, Dr. Bashir. All ready to go to a conference on beautiful, sunny Casperia Prime. Not quite Ryza in terms of popularity to be sure, but still a nice sunny resort for a medical conference.
Well, doctors always hold their conferences at sunny resorts.
Snorkeling, fun in the sun.
And mischief after dark. I'm going to a medical conference, not on vacation.
Sure you are, Doctor. If Section 31 doesn't hold you in the holodeck with 1 hour of sleep and put you through an entire simulation where you're accused of being a Dominion agent, they won't even give him his hot buttered scones. Those bad.
Do you remember when I first offered you scones?
Heck, that wasn't even the first time a conference landed Julian as a kidnappee. The Dominion pulled that same crap earlier that year.
I was attending a burn treatment conference.
Burn treatment conference? Burn treatment conference? And that conference on Romulus during season 7? Section 31 and the Romulans. Okay, technically Julian was arrested and not kidnapped, but it's still a little odd. Move along home? More like move along into a hostage situation. Meet some new aliens, and wind up kidnapped and forced to play a silly board game where your life might be on the line. Though, to be fair, that was more of a first contact and not an official conference. Close enough. Where were you, Constable Odo? You know, for all the crap you give Starfleet security, you've had your own security mishaps with the Bajorans. And most of them involve Dr. Bashir for some reason. Odo protects the entire station under his watchful vigilance. Except for Julian.
Doctor or no doctor, you might end up having to defend yourself.
But anyways, that's all I have about Starfleet conferences, seminars, symposiums, and kidnappings for right now. But what do you all think? Do you notice a correlation between kidnappings and Starfleet conferences, or even gatherings in general in Star Trek? Are there any instances you wish I talked about, or are there even some that I mentioned that are a bit of a stretch? And why are the Romulans usually involved in kidnappings? And also, what are some other Trek tropes you would like to see me talk about? Please, leave comments below and discuss. As always, thanks for tuning in to another Star Trek video. If you like what you see, why not give my video a like and subscribe to my channel? Tell your friends. Until next time.
But I remember everything.